George Balekji here with LeGarrette Blount, zooming into our Nesson studios. Now, LG, as we speak right now, Damar Hamlin, the Bills safety, remains in the ICU in critical condition, but per the Bills, showing signs of improvement. Now, the last few days around the NFL have been somber, and rightfully so. What we saw on Monday was frightening, but how as a player do you put your pads on, get back to practice, and eventually the game?
And as a player, man, it's tough because you see injuries all the time, torn ACLs, concussions, neck injuries with Shazier, just different things like that. And again, man, we're human, right? We're human beings, whether you want to look at it, whether people want to look at it as such, is their own, that's their own, thing, but we're humans, first and foremost. So we have emotions. When things like this happens, I don't remember anything like this ever happening while I played, but when something this traumatic happens, you have to give these guys space. You have to give these guys time. The same way you would do if it was a normal person that didn't play NFL football. They go through the same emotions. We're trained and taught to push those emotions down every time you see someone get hurt. You got to be able to block that out and go out there and still play full-fledged contact sport and expect it not to happen to you. But again, this is something different. It takes on a whole different, animal. And I don't think that this is something that you take lightly. This is something that you now have to look at as a possibility of happening again in the NFL. You have to. That's the realization of it. You have to look at this possibly being a chance of this happening again. So what measures do you take to prevent it? And prayers and everything go out to the Buffalo Bills and to Hamlin and his family and T. Higgins, who was involved in the incident. Man, I just continue to pray for these guys. I'm glad to hear that he's doing better. Hope he pulls through.
All good points you make there, LG. Now, does a moment like this cause any hesitation for the next time you step on the field at all?
Man, it's definitely going to take some time for you to feel comfortable getting on the field and going out there and doing exactly what he did to cause this injury, right? He went out there and made a routine tackle. Thousands and thousands, millions of tackles happened before this. And that same probably exact manner. I've even ran into someone in that manner before. And that's just a routine tackle. Again, it's a freak accident. But you have to go out there, it is your job, to go out there and continue to play to your best ability at a high level. And you got to figure out a way, whether you go talk to someone, or obviously our RG gave everybody their, different things, tools and stuff to talk to someone pertaining to this incident. But you got to go back out there and do your job, man. At the end of the day, you have to go back out there and do your job. And it sounds horrible and it feels horrible to say, but that's the reality we live in.
No, you're right. I mean, the Bills and Patriots were back to practice on Wednesday. Now, you touched on it, with the messages, what it's like to get back on the field. You're part of a brotherhood few can say they're in, being a former NFL player. From teammates in college to coaches that you've had from then to the pros, what have the conversations been like that you've had with them? What do you feel like the message has been as you guys all reflect on what happened Monday night?
Man, the message is clear, man. Keep what is important in the forefront of everything. What's the most important right now, regardless of if you have practice today, if you have practice tomorrow, whatever it is, the most important thing that is going on today is the health and the life of Damar Hamlin. Right, that's the most concerning thing that anybody should be worried about. Again, I know it's extremely hard to be like, okay, make sure I'm remorseful, make sure I'm showing that I care. At the same time, I'm trying to indulge in watching film, making sure I'm prepared and ready to play next week, just in case there is a game, because I'm hearing things that there might not be games next week as well. I'm hearing that they might push back a week, which should be totally understandable for everyone. I hope the league is proactive to this situation and not reactive to it. It'll be very, very good look for the league if they're proactive to this and make sure everybody is ready to go all the way across the league when it comes to moving forward.
Now moving forward, like you mentioned, they're going to have to get back to practice and playing. We'll see how much time the team is given. But Saturday will be the Chiefs and Raiders taking on each other. It'll be the first snap of football played since Damar Hamlin went down. What will be going through your mind as you watch that game and the games moving forward this weekend?
And I'm not gonna lie, it is going to be kind of nerve wracking, and until you see that very first play and that very first hit, maybe even the first drive or two. I don't know. It's going to be really nerve wracking. Just sitting here talking about it gives you a little bit of anxiety, heart kind of speed up and things like that. Just to hear you talk about it, I can't even imagine what the guys are going through that have to suit up and play. I can't even imagine that feeling. Um, it's tough. But again, if anyone could do it, it's these guys. They're resilient. Um, they're obviously different human beings when it comes to being able to handle things mentally and physically. So I think they're going to be I think they're going to be in a position to where they're like, okay, some people maybe the backs are going to be like, okay, maybe let me get my first 4 or 5 carries out before I feel comfortable again. The receivers are might going to be like, well, shit, let me make sure I look a couple times before I catch a hit. But eventually I think the game will get back to normal because I don't even want to say that, but it is kind of what we signed up for. It's just unfortunate, and I love these guys. I love the brotherhood. I love my peers. Hamlin, I love you, brother. I just want you guys to be safe and I want everything to be perfect for them.
No, perfectly put, LG. Appreciate you for the perspective and taking the time. Got love for you too, my man. Thank you as always.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot. Go Patriots.